13 years. That's a long time in between sequels. Except this one's not really a sequel, as these Thai haunted university movies are anthologies, the kind of horror genre that Asia is well known for. Unlike most anthology movies, the audience for this one is very clear: older teens and young adults. As someone who's very clearly not in that age bracket, was I able to enjoy the film? Will you be able to enjoy this film? Who knows? Hi, I'm the Arty Dans from We Love Asian Horror, and together we're going to take a look at the Thai horror anthology movie Haunted Universities Second Semester. As mentioned, this is an anthology movie made up of 3 scary tales set at different university campuses. First up is Last Cheer, where we follow 2 freshman girls on the evening of their induction. They're lifetime friends and they share a secret: they can both see ghosts. They're trying to live a normal life and make new friends, but as they gather in a room for their induction activities, one of the girls starts to flip out and see ghosts everywhere. She panics and leaves the room, but the graduated senior supervising the event bullies her in front of everybody into admitting that she can see ghosts, causing quite a bit of commotion amongst the young group. The second tale, and probably the strongest of the lot, is Bed C. Set on a medical campus, we follow a first-year medical student studying to be a doctor, but he has a secret that will stop his dream from coming true. I don't want to tell you too much about this one, as this is the one that's the most enjoyable. And finally is Abandon, which is a comedy horror story that definitely lives up to its genre bending, although it's not really that scary. 3 girls studying late night in their science room share scary stories about an abandoned science building on their campus. There is a ghost who lives in a sign, a professor who died of a heart attack, and a student who killed herself in her graduation gown. One of the girls' brother is there to deliver a laptop to her, but he finds himself being confronted by all 3 of these ghosts on his way to hand her the device she needs to finish her schoolwork. So what we have here are 3 very different stories, with the only connection being that they're set in a university. The first question on your mind is it scary? Scary is a very subjective opinion, but the important thing to remember about this film is that the target audience is most likely 16 to 24-year-olds. And no doubt, they'll probably find it scary. Heaps of horrible ghost faces, creepy moments, and a lot of jump scares. If you've been watching horror movies as long as I have, there's nothing new here. So essentially, I didn't think it was scary. But I don't just watch horror movies to get scared. Getting scared is a bonus, but I'm more here for the story and the effects. So let's check out how good the stories are. Personally, I really enjoyed the second one the most. There's a great blend of mystery, tension, and a little bit of humour for the 40 minutes this story lasts for. It comes with a warning about flashing lights, as this is a story about epilepsy. It feels well done, as it shows our main character's plight and mental health slowly deteriorate throughout. This is where the ghost comes in. For those paying enough attention, this isn't just a simple ghost story about a dead student. The ghost is a metaphor for the experience our main character is going through, and it ends rather melancholy. It's then debatable which other remaining 2 stories are better. The first story handles itself very seriously. A ghost story about one girl who can see ghosts of dead people, while the other sees the ghosts of people who are about to die. I like this part of the story, as it actually means that both girls have a different purpose in the film. It holds on to that last point until the end of the story, which is what makes this one interesting and, in the end, a little sad as well. It might be a cultural thing, but I felt the scene of the senior bullying one of the girls to be a little uncomfortable, but then that means the filmmaker achieved its goal, so well done to them. That just leaves the final story, which really does feel out of place in this film. Whereas the other 2 stories use humour very lightly. The first story uses the openly gay character as comic relief, while the second story uses the girl Tang and her eagerness to be the character's girlfriend as its version. Both movies only use that comic relief character for about half the story, then allowing the horror elements to take over and finish off. Abandon flips that around and ends up using comedy throughout the whole story. In this one, it's the brother who's the comic relief, a desperate romantic whose only care in the world is his crush Aoi. He is clueless and doesn't understand all his interactions in the story are with ghosts. And genuinely, it is funny, but in that kind of annoying Thai way. It's not as bad as something like Peanut, where it becomes unbearable by the end of the film. All in all, the stories for the 3 movies aren't bad at all. They're just not remarkable. But I feel that if any of them would deserve a proper full-length feature, then it would be the first story. There's definitely unexplored elements in the first story that would really benefit with more detail, such as a detailed backstory to both girls, how they gain the ability to see ghosts, and why they have different abilities. This would have really added more life to the characters, and hopefully this is an idea that the producers can seriously consider. I'd watch it. How are the effects then? Well, the whole movie has this green-yellow colour tone to it. It works well as the filmmaker flips to a stronger blue colour tone in scenes that involve ghosts. So you really end up with 2 different vibes or feelings. The ghost makeup really is nothing new, certainly not for Thai films. And sorry to say, it's really not that scary. Now, if I was to pick my favourite ghost of the whole film, then it would probably be the old professor from the 3rd story. She died due to a heart condition, so her spiritual form is an angry old lady, desperate for her heart pills. Hilarious and very one-track as she goes after the teens in a desperate bid to be reunited with her medication, only for the bumbling, foolish brother to completely misunderstand what she wants. Shout out in the ghost takes goes to the one in the 2nd story. Through the use of some clever bone-crunching sound effects, the exaggerated movements of the ghost really comes alive. Initially, its presence is a little bemusing. Its head is obviously backwards due to the way it died, which makes it more unnerving than anything else, especially when coupled with the deformed arms. The movement is good though, helped in large by some very clever editing. And other than the last story of the film, there's no real gore in this movie either, so that really emphasizes what the target audience for the film is. A deep dive into the stories reveals that there's actually 3 individual themes behind each story as well. About friendship, about adversity, and about believing in yourself. 3 key tenets of teenage to adult life. So is this a good film then? Well, it's definitely not bad. There are much worse horror movies out there, but this is definitely aimed at a target audience that will get much more out of this film than you and I will. Using my still patent pending ghost rating, which stands for great horror or stupid trash, I'm actually going to award this film 3 ghosts, as I think the target audience will really appreciate it, while the rest of us can look at different elements of the film to find enjoyment. Realistically, the movie should have had about 10 minutes trimmed out from each story to reduce its running time and make it a little more appealing. But otherwise, it's good enough. Don't rush out and watch it, but if it pops up on your streaming service and there's nothing else on, give it a try. If you've seen it though, what did you think? Thank you for watching this video. Please press like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more horror movie reviews and news.